What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
Hey guys, it's Rosa, and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, back once again with our final year-end list for 2022. This is Tru Heel Heat Top 10 female wrestlers of 2022. So of course we had to bring the female wrestler of the year on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel on board. You see her on the flagship podcast. You see her on Serving Face and Heels. She is the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
What's up? How is everybody doing? I hope everyone is well. What's going on? Let's get this top 10 started.
Happy New Year to everyone there
yes.
celebrating or still recovering from their hangovers. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you've enjoyed all of our year-end videos, as well as the final flagship podcast of 2022, Tru Heel Heat 206, where we read out the winners of all the awards voted on by you. This top 10 list is contributed by the contributors of the channel, the fans of the channel, as well as a couple of our friends in the wrestling media world. They gave us, every single person of the 30 nominations that we got gave us their top 5 female wrestlers for the year. It was on a point system where the first place gets 5 points, second place gets 4, third place gets 3 points, and so on and so forth. And then we came up with our list here. But this is our list. This is not the list. We want to hear from all of you. We want to hear your opinions. So sound off in the live chat if you feel like our list is wrong. If you feel like someone is missing or deserve to be in our top 10, let us know in the comments down below. But what a year for women's wrestling. You started Serving Face and Heels, where you and Stephanie Hypes talk about women's wrestling every single week. But what did you think overall of 2022 for women's wrestling?
Evolving. We've came so far. There's more to do, but we've came so far, and the women delivered this year. I think they're on top. It's only going to be bigger and better for 23, I feel like.
Indeed. It's already shaping up like it's going to be a big 2023, ending off the year with plenty of great action from the women in wrestling. And that's why for our honorable mentions here, I decided to add in some more names to give some shine to a couple of more ladies, not the typical, 5 honorable mentions that we've been doing with the rest of our list. Decided to show some love because I felt it was very interesting with a lot of this voting. You had one of our honorable mentions for the best female wrestlers of 2022, Sasha Banks, with 5 points on 2 nominations. Sasha Banks, of course, came into the year returning to WWE in the Royal Rumble. The nice little moment with her wearing the Sailor Moon outfit and doing the splits. Top 5 meme of the year for sure. Then you had her teaming up with Naomi to form the next WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, winning a 4-way to win those titles. However, that run was, of course, stopped short just a month later when her and Naomi decided to walk out of WWE. Of course, Sasha Banks has been a name that we've talked about a lot here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel throughout 2022, but very interesting that she got 2 nominations here.
Wow, I'm so shocked about all of that. Like two nominations, like no one put her in their stuff. That's crazy.
Hey, still 2 nominations because she only worked like 4 months of the year.
That's true. You're right.
You also had Allie Catch, which is, I know, someone that you've been a fan of. She only got 1 nomination, but that 1 nomination was a first place vote. So she got 5 points. So I wanted to shout her out. Now we have the regular nomination, honorable mentions here, coming in at number 15 with 6 points, 3 nominations. You got Masha Slamovich. Masha Slamovich has been tearing it up. We've had her on here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel for an interview before she kind of hit superstardom in 2022. It goes to Impact Wrestling, goes on the undefeated streak there. Had a classic match with Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory. She's had great matches with Allie Katch for Impact Wrestling. All of her work in GCW, not just going against other female wrestlers, but a lot of intergender work. She's currently scheduled in the new year to be versing John Morrison on an independent show. So
nice.
Masha Slamovich, this was definitely her breakout year.
Yeah, definitely for her. I mean, it's not top 10, but at least she's gonna mention. This is good. I'm liking that you're mentioning people that should be recognized. So this is cool. I'm digging this, SP.
Then at 14 in our honorable mentions, we got someone I know you're probably not familiar with, but my one request, I was going to tell y'all in our group chat, but I'll say it here for the people to see. Serving Face and Heels, Stephanie and you need to watch Stardom in 2022. My education in December has been catching up on a lot of Stardom from throughout the year, and this woman had one of my favorite women's matches of 2022. It's Starlight Kid from Stardom, the former high speed champion. She was their Artists of Stardom champions, which is their trios belts. She got 6 points on 2 nominations. This year she had one of the best women's matches, in my opinion, of the year with Azumi. It's just so fast. It's like Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the speed of Will Ospreay and Ricochet. It's just pins. If you remember the Steamboat Savage match, it's just pins, but they go at the speed of a Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Azumi is viewed by many people as like the next great women's wrestler. They compare her to a Japanese female Will Ospreay. And Starlight Kid, she's the only masked female wrestler in Stardom, and she has this very cool look. She used to be a very popular baby face, and then she got drafted in the Stardom draft to one of their heel stables, and she just got in love with the evilness and with the babyface wrestlers in Stardom. They're cute wrestlers, but when you turn evil, sometimes you want to be sexy, and that's what Starlight Kid has done. She's a provocateur in a lot of Stardom fans' minds. So I'm happy that she made our list here. Rhea Ripley coming in with 6 points on 3 nominations in the 13th place. Rhea Ripley came into this year kind of lost in the shuffle a bit. She went from like one tag team with Nikki ASH into a new tag team at the beginning of the year with Liv Morgan. She was involved in that 4-way where Sasha and Naomi won the tag team titles, but it really wasn't until May when she aligned with Edge and Damian Priest in the Judgment Day that we really started seeing some momentum behind her. She won a fatal 4-way to versus Bianca Belair at Money in the Bank. Then she had to be sidelined with I think it was like a mouth or teeth surgery for a little bit, and then they came back and they just presented her as like this China like figure on Monday Night Raw with the Judgment Day. Her old act with Dominic Mysterio is one of the best in WWE. So glad that Rhea Ripley made our list here.
I like the comparison of like she's like this China-esque for the Judgment Day. That is actually a great comparison, because I think she's like been so good for that faction. Like, I mean, at one point I was like, okay, why we have Judgment Day? Like, what's the point? But once they start putting, like, she didn't even have to speak. Like, she just shows off what she's doing. Her and Dominic are doing such good work right now. So I'm loving it.
Love the holiday stuff.
Oh my God.
And Christmas. They need to show up for New Year's. They need to show up for New Year's when the ball drops.
Yes, they got to keep the little vignettes going. Besides the bloodline, this is the next good thing that's happening, like, outside of the ring.
Yeah, 100%. Coming in at 12th place, we got Deonna Purrazzo with 7 points on 4 nominations. We interviewed her this year. She was on the channel. She came into the year in a great female feud with Mickie James, main eventing Hard to Kill, the first knockouts main event of a pay-per-view in Impact Wrestling history. She goes on, she teams up with Chelsea Green to make Vex. They win the Impact Knockouts Tag Team team titles. She was a part of the great first ever Queen of the Mountain match at Slammiversary. She also appeared on AEW Dynamite in the main event of an episode of Dynamite on May 11th against Mercedes Martinez for the ROH Women's Championship. She won the ROH Women's Championship this year. She held the AAA Reina Del Rey's Championship this year. She has victories over Roxanne Perez, Chelsea Green, Mia Yim. So Deonna Purrazzo, man, I thought she would just make the list.
Me too. I'm very shocked about this placing, but whatever. I thought at least number 10. Like, damn, 12. Sheesh.
Okay. Just missing out, and she was actually tied with number 11 of our honorable mentions, which is someone who's been in the headlines a lot as of late. Mandy Rose.
Wow.
Coming in with 7 points on 3 nominations. What? Mandy Rose spent the majority of 2022 as the NXT Women's Champion, coming into the year as champion, getting a big win at Stand and Deliver over Cora Jade, Alba Fire, and Io Shirai. She's defended it against the likes of Roxanne Perez this year, Alba Fire. It didn't matter who went against Mandy Rose. They took them down. The Toxic Attraction was one of the top acts on NXT. And then she ends off the year dropping the title, ending her reign to Roxanne Perez, and gets fired the following day. And we find out that she's become a millionaire, literally a millionaire, from just her fan time site that caused her to get fired. What a up and down year for Mandy Rose.
And you know, she turned lemon into lemonade, being pushed back and going back to NXT, which I think was like a blessing in disguise for her, because I don't think she would have gotten this type of like shine if she was on the main roster. I mean, they shined on her for other things, but she like evolved and elevated somewhat. Like, you didn't know that she had all of this in her until it happened. Like, her mic skills changed, like everything like got better. So I was not being demoted, but like you got to upgrade really quickly, and then you made your OnlyFans page somewhat, and then you became a millionaire. So she's winning nevertheless. So
she winning, y'all. She winning. Coming in, let's start off with number 10 here. If you guys watching believe any of the honorable mentions deserve to be in the top 10, let us know in the comments down below. But let's get into number 10 here. Krssi coming in at number 10 with 12 points on 5 nominations, including 1 first place vote. We have Bayley.
Wow,
Bayley made her return to WWE at SummerSlam, creating Damage Control with Dakota Kai and Io Sky, getting into the main feud on Monday Night Raw with Bianca Belair, having 2 good to great matches at Extreme Rules in a ladder match, and then at Crown Jewel in a Last Woman Standing match. She was then a part of the Women's War Games matchup along with Damage Control, as well as Rhea Ripley and there was one more other person, Nikki Cross, losing to Team Belair at Survivor Series. She is now currently involved in a feud with Becky Lynch after taking out Becky Lynch following her injury at SummerSlam. That is all the recap that I can do, because she was only here half of the year. And the piss poor booking. I'm sorry. Mandy Rose, Deonna Purrazzo, even Masha Slamovich on our honorable mention. All those women deserve to be higher than Bayley because of the piss poor booking by Triple H so far. But Bayley is so talented and so popular. It's understandable. What do you think? Her coming here at number 10.
I'm shocked at the number of placement, but I understand why. But yes, she did only work half of the year because she was injured, but her booking has been very, very bad. Like, she has more losses than wins for her return back. Like, I'm surprised she won against Becky Lynch the other night. Like, I was shocked, but happy, because she needed these wins. Like she's needed this like from like ever. So hopefully for 23 we can have her go a little bit, like, be a heel and be on top. Like, what's the point of you being a heel? You gotta keep losing. Like if they're supposed to be a big faction, they're supposed to be like controlling everything, like damage control. Like, why is your team losing? I don't understand this.
I think
You
it's
and
about.
your team.
I said this before she returned, but I think it's about time Bailey just be a baby face again. I know everybody enjoys her as a heel. I enjoy her as a heel, but yeah, no. If all she's gonna do is lose as a heel, then no, I don't want
Yeah,
to see her as a
I don't
heel
want to see it.
anymore.
Right.
I
So you
don't want
rather
to
see
see
her
her.
lose as a face?
No, she's gonna win as a face. If you know one thing about WWE, they book their baby faces to win unless they hate them,
But
like
then, like,
Mustafa Ali. But
oh,
if they actually like you, if they
damn.
like you and you're a baby face, you're gonna win a lot. If they like
Okay.
you and you're a heel, you're gonna lose big matches. You'll win on TV, but you're gonna
Mm,
lose big matches.
the
And
bigger
I'm done
matches,
with Bailey losing big
losing the big
matches.
matches. Okay, I get it. You're right. I understand. Um, let's see. Let's see what happens. But if she becomes a face, I can't have her to be the hugger. I have to have her be something else.
No, it should be kind of like a babyface version of the character that she's playing right now. I
Okay.
want her to still
Okay.
be, confident and say she's the role model and stuff, but it's pretty similar to what Becky Lynch tried to do when she went heel in 2018, but that just made a great babyface character.
Yeah.
So just
Okay. Got it.
play your role, play your character as a babyface. Just
Got you.
direct all your insults and your sarcasm at the heels. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do in WWE, really.
Okay.
Uh, let's move on to number 9 here. Krssi coming in with 6 nominations, 15 points overall. One of my personal favorites. She was in our top 5 last year. Coming in at number 9 here. Thunder Rosa,
Oh,
the
yes.
former AEW Women's World Champion. Of course, she won the championship on the March 18th St. Patrick's Day Slam edition of AEW Dynamite, dethroning Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She went on to defeat Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing, Toni Storm at Forbidden Door. She has successful defenses against the likes of Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter on TV as well. And then she got hurt during her tag team run with Thunderstorm, got hurt, had an injured back, and then she had to relinquish the championship. First, it was just paused for a while, and we had an interim champion, but she officially relinquished the title in November. But I guess this is based on the first 8 months of the year, where that match with Serena Deeb was one of my favorite
Yes.
AEW
Yes.
women's matches of
Mhm.
the year. Her
Yes.
and Toni Storm as Thunderstorm was my
Yes.
favorite tag team name of the year. Not necessarily my favorite tag team, but tag
But
team name.
the name was just like, it's just cute. It was just like Thunderstorm. That was easy. Like
I think the drop for Thunder Rosa here is mainly down to missing the fall and the winter of
yes.
2022,
Yes.
and I think maybe a portion of it may
Was the
have to do
booking.
with the booking, as well
booking.
as the backstage reports of heat
Yes.
on her in the women's locker room.
I definitely think that all played a factor in it, because once she became champion, which we were like rooting for, it's kind of gave you like the Liv Morgan effect. It's like, okay, but they didn't really book you well as a champion. Like,
Yeah.
we all wanted you to be champion. Now that you're champion, what happens next? Like, it did like a little like spiraled but down, like it kind of like dropped her stock a little bit, because they weren't invested in her like they should have been.
Yeah, and Thunder Rosa is just the latest example of AEW not really knowing how to follow up on the
Mhm.
big babyface win. They've done this so many times afterwards where they really didn't know what the follow up would be, with
Right.
Wardlow winning
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
TNT championship. Hangman Adam Page, they knew what they were doing right after, because Bryan Danielson won that world title eliminator tournament, but it
Right.
felt like they didn't know what to do in between the
Right.
Danielson
Right.
feud and the Cole feud for a while there, and they never made him the focus of the show. And Thunder Rosa is kind of like the female example of that, where they built her up. She was so popular kind of in the build up, in the chase for the championship, and once she won the title, they didn't know how to follow up.
Mm.
Unfortunately, she's a victim for that, but her work alone, character, look wise, in ring work, Thunder Rosa always brings it. So definitely deserving of being on in our top 10 here. Let's move on, Krssi, to number
Number
8.
8.
Coming in at number 8 with 8 nominations, 21 points overall. We got the Impact Knockouts
Okay.
champion, Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace has been all over the map when it comes to Impact Wrestling throughout 2022. She had a tag team with W. Morrissey. It looked like she was going to get into the tag team division. At one point, she was involved in Ultimate X matches for the X Division Championship, but she was put into the Queen of the Mountain match at Slammiversary, all involving former Knockouts champions. And out of all the former champions, she came out victorious, and she's had a hell of a run as Impact Knockouts World Champion ever since then, having a great match with Mia Yim. She's had good matches with Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green and Tasha Steelz. And then she had a hell of a feud with Masha Slamovich. The Knockouts match of the year for 2022 was Masha Slamovich and Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory. Just a hard-hitting, high-impact matchup. And then they followed up with another hard-hitting bout at Overdrive with Jordan Grace once again winning, and she closes out the year in a feud with Mickie James where they're going to verse title versus career at Hard to Kill. So she's going to be off to a very good start for 2023 as well. What do you think about Jordan Grace here coming in at number 8?
Well deserved. Happy to see her on the list. Maybe next year she'll be a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think she's really talented. She's got a hell of a look. She's just like,
Yeah,
she's got more muscles than a lot of the male wrestlers
she's like a
out
smaller
there.
China.
Yes, yes.
She's like a short China. Like when China used to be very muscular, it's in like when they dolled her up, once they dolled her up or whatever. I feel like she's like a smaller version of what China could have finished as a superstar as.
And she's completely transformed her look from where she looked
Right,
when she was
right.
like on the independent scene when I first saw her in like 2017, 2018 to where she is now. It's like night and day. Jordan Grace deserves a lot of credit for how she's put together like her entire look, her body and everything, and
Yeah,
putting in great work for Impact Wrestling, kind of one of their staple kind of anchor talents that they got over there.
yeah.
Coming in at number 7, Krssi, on 7 nominations, 23 points. So people were very high on this woman here out of those 7 nominations. We got Toni Storm.
Hey, that's
Toni
what's up.
Toni Storm left WWE in December 2021, came into this year without a company, and then popped up in AEW around April in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, losing out to Dr. Britt Baker DMD in the semifinals, but eventually earning a shot at the AEW Women's World Championship against Thunder Rosa at Forbidden Door in a good matchup, coming up short there. And then they formed an alliance of Thunderstorm, which kept her close to the AEW Women's World Championship. It looked like we were about to get Storm versus Rosa 2 at All Out, but Rosa got injured, and then there was a fatal 4-way to determine an interim AEW Women's World Championship champion at All Out, which Toni Storm won, and she had a one of the best AEW Women's World title reigns in the company's history, even as interim champion, whether it was against Hikaru Shida or against Athena and Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, and then the match where she lost the championship at Full Gear, in my opinion, the best pay-per-view women's match for AEW in 2022. Toni Storm put in the work. She was good on the. She was pretty okay on the mic. It was like mind blowing, but it was in ring work and just making her stamp in AEW this year. I think she deserves to be on our list. What would you say is the highlight from Toni Storm's year?
Highlight of her just leaving WWE, not like being a part of them, is like, no, I'd rather just leave. Let me leave out on a, just let me go. Let my stuff expire, and I'm gonna go, and then do some other things here, and then show up on another company. And she's been great. She's one of the. I think I could have swore she would have been a little bit higher, but she had a great defense. with her title as interim and then becoming the actual champion and doing some killer matches like weekly, like every week she was just like giving match after match, and she did well. She does great.
She does her thing and she's put in the work. She's come a long way from, her time on the independent scene, Progress, and Stardom, and then coming into WWE, NXT UK, NXT, then the main roster, a short run there, and then she's come into AEW, and she's really put her name along the top woman in All Elite Wrestling. So very glad Toni Storm makes our list here, but she was tied with number 6 here with 23 points, but number 6 comes in with 23 points. But the reason that they broke that tie is that they had 1 first place vote and 10 nominations, 3 more nominations than Toni Storm. I was very surprised so many people knew of her. She was on my list though for the top 5. We have from Stardom, Syuri, the former World of Stardom champion. Syuri was also number 1 in the PWI Women's 150 this year, and what a run she had. She won the World of Stardom championship on December 29th, 2021, and went on a full year as the champion, taking down such challengers as Julia Yutani Hayashita, Tam Nakano, as well as Saya Kamatani. Syuri, in a lot of ways, if you don't know who she is, you should know who she is by now, but she, in a lot of ways, people call her the Brock Lesnar of Yoshi wrestling. She has an MMA background. She was very successful in mixed martial arts.
Okay, I think I've seen her in an MMA scene. That's why she looks so familiar. I think I've seen her there.
She made the transition into women's wrestling, working with Sendai Girls, and then eventually coming to Stardom. And she's been on basically a war path over the last couple of years. She had a dominant reign as SWA World Champion. She won the 5-star Grand Prix, which is their version of the G1 Climax tournament last year. She had a 5.5-star rated, the highest rated women's match in the history of the Wrestling Observer newsletter with Utami Hayashita last year. This year, she's just tore it up, went through the entire World of Stardom and established herself as the final boss of the company, and finally lost that World of Stardom championship to Julia, this year's 5-star Grand Prix, and her former tag team partner at the Dream Queendom 2 on December 29th, 2022. Syuri, if you don't know who she is, go out of your way to see her. Like I said, the Brock Lesnar of Yoshi wrestling, but instead of like suplexes, she could do plenty of suplexes, Germans and whatnot. She has the hardest kicks that I've seen anyone, male or female, in wrestling. She will kick your in. Yes.
Well, I've seen again, not really. I've seen her kick someone's teeth in an MMA scene. So I can definitely understand what you're saying. I've definitely seen her because my husband watches MMA. But I, like you said, I have to start watching Stardom.
Stardom is where it's at. Definitely Dream Queendom 2 is my recommendation to anyone. If you're going to watch one last show before 2022 or the start 2023, watch that Stardom Queendom show from the last week of 2022. But let's get into number 5. We're into the top 5 here. Krssi coming in at number 5 with 27 points, including that's 27 points out of 11 nominations, including 1 first place vote.
What?
We have the current AEW Women's World Champion, Jamie Hayter. Hayter had a hell of a breakout year in 2022. Always kind of the number 2, the sidekick to Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. But once Baker lost the Women's World title, she got little like opportunity after opportunity where she just kept shining, whether it was against Toni Storm in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, or whether it was against Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. And then there was the 4-way at All Out that really kind of opened everybody's eyes with that Chicago crowd rallying behind Jamie Hayter. It was that organic groundswell of fans just supporting her more and more week after week, leading to AEW Full Gear, where she defeated Toni Storm in a fantastic match to win the AEW Women's World Championship. And I think the extra cherry on top, because anytime you have a great match or you steal a show in December, I call it the cherry on top for your year. She added that with a absolutely beautiful, wonderful main event of AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash Special against Hikaru Shida, one of the greatest women's matches in AEW Dynamite history. I would say just number 2 behind Baker and Rosa's Lights Out match. That match with Shida and Hayter, they went 100 miles an hour, beat the crap out of each other. She did the same with Toni Storm. She's already off to a start of having one of the best AEW Women's World title runs.
Yes.
What did you think about Jamie Hayter's 2022?
22 was great for her. I didn't think she'd be this high in the ranking, because she just really been, and then she just really came to the forefront of a couple of months ago, more mainly, and then becoming champion. So I'm happy to see her on here. Yes, her reign is great so far. She's only 2 months in, maybe? Is it 3 months? 2 months?
She went in November.
So about 2 months in, and she's been doing a hell of a job, and she's on TV weekly. So I mean, I'm sure it's uphill from here. Hopefully, if they keep booking her good, and they learn a lesson from what they did with Rosa, she can have a great reign.
Yes, it would be back-to-back really good reigns for the AEW Women's World Championship if they continue on this path with Jamie Hayter. She should have been on Dynamite for the final week of 2022, but
this is very true. But
hey, they said she's gonna be on Rampage, so there we go.
See what happens.
She was on Rampage with an interview. At least that's a hook for Rampage. Let's move on to number 4, Krssi, coming in at number 4. This 3 points higher than Jamie Hayter with 30 points on 13 nominations, including 2 first-place votes. We have the former AEW Women's World Champion, the 2021 Tru Heel Heat Female Wrestler of the Year. This year, number 4 is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Dr. Britt Baker came into the year as AEW Women's World Champion, had that great match with Thunder Rosa inside of a steel cage where she dropped the title to Rosa, and then she went into the Owen Hart Cup Invitational Tournament. And for some reason, she won the damn thing by defeating Ruby Soho at Double or Nothing to win the tournament. She went on. She had good matches on TV, whether against Toni Storm, the 4-way at All Out, the 4-way at Grand Slam. But at Grand Slam came her newest rival in Saraya, and that led into some great promos between the two, as well as Britt Baker having one of her greatest promos in her career in the lead up to Full Gear on Saraya, so saying that this is her house and she doesn't take walk-ins, bitch. Great stuff by Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. They also teased the dissension and a potential split and breakup with Jamie Hayter. Although that hasn't been completely blown off or delivered yet, it is still kind of percolating in the offset as well. It's marinating as well. So 2023, we know we have maybe that to look forward to, because I thought we were going to get it this year, but maybe we got that to look forward to. But Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I think she's so high here based on her phenomenal 2021, in my opinion.
Probably so. Because she didn't do much. I mean, she did the Owen Hart's Cup winner. And then of course she didn't have the title. So I was like, what more did she do?
Started the year with the title, so you could count she was AEW Women's World Champion this year.
Okay, because you did drop it in May. So okay, then fine.
March.
No, March. Okay. Yes, that was it was March 17th. Yes. Okay, so all right, man. Okay, 3 months in, maybe. All right, well. Okay, but so high of a number, sure.
I mean, she's still one of the top stars of the AEW women's division. There's no doubt about that.
I guess it's based on popularity at this point, huh?
Probably so. Probably so. I try my best to prepare, going through the big moments, the big matches for all these people on both the best female wrestlers of 2022 list and male wrestlers of 2022 years. I will say, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the male wrestlers 2022 list, there's some people on there too where I struggled to point out the big moments for them. But Britt Baker, I think it's just because of her status at this point why she's so high. I wouldn't have put her higher than Jamie Hayter or Syuri or even Toni Storm or even Jordynne Grace. I think maybe Thunder Rosa because she was here longer than Thunder Rosa, but that's about it. She would only be higher than Thunder Rosa and Bayley out of the people that we've said so.
Right. Yeah. I would think so. Yes, absolutely.
But let's get into number three actually here. Yep. Number 3 here, completing the AEW trilogy of ladies here, coming in with 38 points, 8 points higher than Dr. Britt Baker DMD at number 4 on 14 nominations, including 2 first place votes. We got the current AEW TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill came into 2022 riding high, feeling like one of the best rookies or one-year talents in the business, and won the TBS championship on the first ever episode of AEW Dynamite of the year on TBS, defeating Ruby Soho to win the championship, and she has been dominant with the championship ever since, defeating the likes of Tay Conti, Ty Mello, or Tay Conti, Ty Mello, whichever. Ty Mello.
Yeah, Ty Mello, whatever one you want to call her, right?
Like, Ty Mello, Anna Jay, Anna Jay, Athena, Willow Nightingale. The list goes on and on. Anyone that went against Jade Cargill, she put down. Marina Shafir, Nyla Rose, Madison Rain. Jade Cargill has been dominant. She's introduced a new stable in the baddies. She's been the AEW star who they associate with all the mainstream hip hop stars, whether it be Jermaine Dupri or Trina, Little Bow Wow. They all interact with Jade Cargill. She is money, and she has been established as the top star in the AEW women's division. The only thing that I think she's lacking here, and I don't know how she's this high, is she didn't really have any good to great matches this year. I named all the people she beat, but I couldn't necessarily say any of those matches were good to great.
Yeah. Again, this is for popularity, and I guess the person that's been working the most, maybe I can only think of, and it's not based on your in-ring work because it's good. It can be much better. And then you could have like matches longer than like 5 minutes, I feel like.
And any of the matches that she did get like hype for, like I think that like her and Athena at All Out is one of the worst matches in AEW of 2022 because it had like 5 months of fucking hype and only got 4 minutes.
Yeah, they did those ladies dirty for that particular one. But I mean, hopefully, it'll get better. We'll see. I mean, she's working with the guys to help her get better. So we'll see. Maybe they'll give her much more time. I feel like she'll be losing, dropping the belt in 23 sometime. I don't know when, but I'm sure the reign will get, finished soon. And we'll see what happens.
I just hope a certain Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks shows up in All Elite Wrestling and can give Jade Cargill a great match. That's all I want. I want Jade to have a great match in 2023.
I think it will happen eventually. It will happen for 23. Maybe it'll be her great match will be when she's dropping the belt. Who knows? But yes, she has. I feel like the great match will come eventually.
She's like,
I hope
praying
so.
for you, sister.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you. We're rooting for you over here.
Room for you, sister. All right, let's go to number 2 here, and we're going up in the points. There was a big gap between 2 and 3. Jade had 38 points. Our number 2 entry had 55 points.
Wow.
18 nominations, including 4 first place votes. Got the man,
Ah,
Becky Lynch,
how did I
big
know?
time Bex.
Yeah.
She came into this year as the Raw Women's Champion, getting victories over Liv Morgan at day one, Dewdrop at the Royal Rumble, Lita at Elimination Chamber. Some really good promo work on the way to Elimination Chamber and out of Elimination Chamber on the road to WrestleMania, where she went on to lose to Bianca Belair in a classic bout at WrestleMania 38. In a lot of people's mind, the best match of that weekend.
Yes.
From there, she started doing some great character work week after week
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw, becoming mad due to losing the
Yep.
Raw Women's Championship, getting into a rivalry with Asuka, having some good matches on TV against her. She was in the Money in the Bank. She was the lady that was last thrown off of the ladder by Liv Morgan before Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank briefcase. She went on to face Bianca Belair again in another great match at SummerSlam before injuring her shoulder in the said match and taking some months off after an attack by Damage Control, and then finally returning ahead of Survivor Series War Games, where she teamed up with Team Belair, Bianca Belair, Michin, Mia Yim, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka to beat Team Damage Control in the Women's War Games, and now she's embroiled in a feud with Bayley to close out 2022.
Yes.
Becky Lynch is so talented. I would say out of all the women we've said here, she's the best on the mic. And I would say that, like I said, on the road to the match with Lita at Elimination Chamber and then on the road to WrestleMania, it finally felt like she figured out her heel character. It only took her 7 months, but I mean, she finally figured it out before the biggest match of the year for her against Bianca Belair. And I'm glad that she did, because they had one of the better build-ups. She did some great work on the mic after WrestleMania. She was the highlight of Monday Night Raw, and really, in my opinion, took the shine off of Bianca Belair's first few months as champion, because the focus was more on Becky than Bianca. And then they had that great match. And then ever since she's been back, she's been entertaining as well. So even with the gap of the shoulder injury, I think Becky deserves to be this high on the list. What do you think?
Definitely. She definitely put in the work. She performed her ass off this year. Besides having the injury, she was on TV weekly. She was doing everything. So she deserves this spot, and she did such great character work. Like when she lost, and when the whole one when John Cena was there and she was there, and she was just like clapping, like she was just like so mad. It was great. Like she did such good character work this year. So happy that she's on here at number 2.
Yes, I'm so glad for Becky Lynch. She deserves it. Very talented. Your partner, your tag team partner, Stephanie Chase. Spoiler alert! I'll pull back the curtain. Of course, had her number one. She was one of the first place votes for Becky Lynch.
Of course, that's a homie. That's why.
Anyone before we get to our number one, our final number one for our year-end list, is there anyone that we haven't mentioned you do want to mention for the best female wrestlers of 2022?
I don't think she was the best, but I feel like she will get here eventually. Willow, let's give Willow some shine. Willow definitely is someone that's working to get up there and like be seen. I think she's a top star. I think she has such appeal. She's great looking. She's one of the bigger girls, so I think that she could definitely be a good big superstar for 23 if you let her. Like,
Please let her, y'all.
please let
Please
her.
let her.
So that's one of my little honorable mentions that I think was a good one.
Anyone else?
Uh, hmm.
I think
Not right now.
Athena is one.
Athena is yes. Her as she's the ROH champ right now. Give her more. Give her more. I'm liking this new version of her. I think once you do like a big change is really good. So hopefully this is something that'll elevate her to a higher level, and like be this champion right now is going to be really good for her. For hopefully next year she'll be definitely on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. couple of ones I want to mention is, of course, from Stardom. I'm like I said, this is like my new
Yeah.
love. Like, this is my new love in life. I feel like a boy again. I feel like this is like 6-7 years ago when I first discovered New Japan, and that's how I feel watching Stardom. But like I said before, Azumi, her high speed title reign, she's so talented. She's gonna be in the mention for the best female wrestlers for like the next 10 years. Also, Kyrie coming back to Stardom and winning the IWGP Women's Championship over there. She had a great match with another person I wanted to mention in Saya Kamatani. Saya Kamatani, everyone that's a Stardom fan believes that she's not going to be around for a while because this woman is insane and she's one of the best high flyers in the business. She does a 450 splash and a Phoenix splash like her name was Ricochet. Like, she is very, very extremely talented. Saya Kamatani, go out of your way to see. And most of all, the biggest person I wanted to mention here is my girl, Julia. Julia, everyone loves Julia. Julia is the top star in Stardom now. She just defeated Syuri, ending her dominant 1-year reign as the World of Stardom champion. She won the 5-star Grand Prix this year, which is the G1 tournament for Stardom, and then defeated Syuri in a near 30-minute a barn burner, a 5-star match, in my opinion. Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter gave it 4 3/4 star. On cagematch.com is currently the highest rated women's match of all time, the highest rated Stardom match of all time, and it's number 11 all time among the highest rated matches. So I think Julia has set up her 2023 to be even bigger, and unlike a lot of the other Stardom stars, she's very unique. She has a unique look to her because she's half Italian. She's half Italian. She speaks in Italian in promos. One of her catchphrases is "Arrivederci." She's the leader of Donna Del Moto, and she could speak English. She could speak Italian. She could speak Japanese.
What? Wow!
Strap a rocket to this woman.
Oh my God!
And on top of all of that, she's only 28 years old and been wrestling since 2017.
What?
Her whole story started. She was working in an Italian restaurant, and then one day said, "I want to be a wrestler." She trained in Ice Ribbon, which is one of another like independent, smaller promotion in Japan. And then one day after like 2 years in Ice Ribbon, she was like, "No, I'm fed up like this. I'm going to go to Stardom." And didn't even talk to Ice Ribbon. She just left Ice Ribbon and her friends in Ice Ribbon, went to Stardom, created this whole bunch of controversy where everybody didn't like her, whether it was outside of Stardom or in Stardom. Like, her whole story is so fascinating. I think more people need to talk about Julia.
Okay. All right. Gonna have to keep an eye out for her. All right. I'm excited to see this.
But all of that, honorable mentions 2 through 10. We have made it here to number 1, Miss Krssi Love. Coming in at number 1. Man, I thought the tag teams of the year was the biggest gap, with FTR kind of pulling out the landslide, but this is ridiculous. Coming in at number 1 on 26 out of 30 nominations, including 19 first place votes. I repeat, 19, because Becky Lynch was the previous highest with 4. With 19 first place votes out of the 26 nominations, 107 points overall. We got the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. I didn't think it would be this kind of landslide. I didn't think it would be a freaking landslide. Jesus.
I mean, look at, like, come on, man. I don't know why you didn't think it was going to be a landslide, friend. Come on.
Bianca Belair came into 2022 chasing after the Raw Women's Championship, coming up short in the Royal Rumble matchup, but eventually winning the Elimination Chamber in February to earn her shot at the Raw Women's Championship. Of course, she had the aforementioned amazing match with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38 night 1 to regain the gold and become the Raw Women's Champion. And she has gone on a John Cena like run since then. She's defeated the likes of Sonya Deville and Carmella and Asuka and Becky again. She's beaten the bricks off of fucking Damage Control, whether it be
all of them.
Yes, all of them in a ladder match at Extreme Rules, whether it be one-on-one against Bayley at the Last Woman Standing match.
Yes.
She went on to lead her team to victory in the Women's War Games at Survivor Series, and now she ends off 2022 with a big-time Raw Women's Championship match heading against Alexa Bliss on the first Raw of 2023. Bianca Belair, yeah, deserving of being the Women's Wrestler of the Year. She was my Women's Wrestler of the Year. She should have been everyone's. I think it should have been even more first place votes for Bianca, because
I don't know what would make you not put her number one. She has been working her ass off all year. She's been having a great defense. I mean, yes, once Becky got injured a little bit, like it put her a little bit more forefront when they didn't have to like look at Becky. But I mean, definitely did a great year. Like, and like, oh my God, like her ring gear, like she's doing her own ring gear. Like this is like she does everything.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. Like, she's everywhere.
I gotta give it up to Bianca Belair. She's so talented in and out of the ring. This year they had the announcement as well that her and Montez Ford is gonna have a reality series on Hulu coming up in 2023. So the sky is the limit. They're gonna even make her an even bigger star. I feel like Bianca has the potential to be like the next crossover star, or the first female crossover star for WWE.
I mean, they would have had it with Sasha, but they that look what happened with that.
I mean, they have it with Becky and Sasha, and they don't promote it enough.
They don't. They really do. I mean, right? Becky has been on like the Young Rock. She's been everywhere, and I have barely yet to see. If it's not on USA or Fox, they don't promote it.
They're like, nope, we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
They'll give you Ms. and Mrs., but they won't give you nothing else though.
Giving Ms. and Mrs., Total Divas, Total Bellas.
Divas, right. But then nothing of the sort if it's anything else.
But at least with this new reality series, we know it's a WWE production, so they're going to promote that. Yeah, they're going to promote that. We saw how annoyingly they promote everything in their productions, so we know they're going to promote that.
Yeah, for sure. The last one being promoted was the Ric Flair thing, so yeah.
Oh man. I still need to watch that as well.
It's actually it's good.
Oh, okay. So I got your recommendation here. Look at that.
Right. I'm about to say we'll talk about it. Yeah.
But that brings us to a close on the best female wrestlers of 2022. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think that Bianca Belair deserves to be the best? Do you think someone on our list deserves to be higher? Do you disagree with the list altogether? Let us know in the comments down below. I think Bianca Belair is going to be very high in 2023.
Absolutely. I mean, she's money right now. She's what they see a cash cow when they see one. And right now she's the cash cow. So
this is the best job they've done building up a women's wrestler in WWE since the Four Horsewomen.
Since the Four Horsewomen. Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one.
That brings us to a close. I want to thank Miss Krssi Love for joining me, recapping the best female wrestlers of 2022. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you back on here.
You can find me every week on our flagship show, which is Tru Heel Heat, 11:05 a.m. on Saturdays, then serving Face and Heels every other Sunday. And then you catch me on some watch-alongs. I can't wait for our watch-alongs for 23. It's going to be great. It's gonna be a good year, guys. Follow me, IG, Twitter, Facebook, Krssi Love _1, or just Krssi Love, Tru Heel Krssi Love on Twitter.
Absolutely. The first Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast of 2023 will be on Saturday, January 7th. So join us live for that. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. We got the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship ending off season 2 with the Wrestle Kingdom 17 predictions, which of course brings me to tomorrow right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Join myself and J News Live for our Wrestle Kingdom 17 preview, as we're going to give our predictions and our thoughts on the huge show coming up on January 4th. So you can enjoy that preview and check out all the rest of our best of 2022 year-end videos with the top 20 best matches of 2022, the top 10 best promos of 2022, top 10 best tag teams, top 10 best major shows, top 10 best male wrestlers, and of course, right here, the final one, best female wrestlers. Drop the like, give you your thoughts on all those lists. If you think we messed up, if you think we missed out on one, let us know in the comments. I want to thank Miss Krssi Love for joining me. Thank you all for watching this video. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. And of course, if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here, and Happy New Year, and let's get to it with 2023. For Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been the top 10 female wrestlers